Hello, and thank you for watching and listening to another episode of Unmedicated and Educated with Keita Rose. I'm Keita Rose, and here we deep dive, dissect, and sometimes diagnose because it seems everyone, including myself, I am not excluded, has lost their damn minds. If you are new here, thank you so much for giving me a try. If you are an OG, then you already know what the fuck is going on, okay? Season 5, episode 2 of Love During Lockup. And let me tell you something. Whoa. This one's called Vegas or Bust. And I don't know why they named it that. I watched the whole episode thinking that they were gonna, talk about maybe some gambling issues, or maybe it is. Maybe it's gambling with their damn lives, because that's what these people are doing. It's quite scary. It's concerning, but you can't, something's in the sauce where you can't look away. And I couldn't. I watched the whole thing twice. I made my little notes, got them right here. Let's get into this recap. So episode 2 starts off with Teenie and Rob, and they are exercising in their house. Now, Teenie has Rob on her iPad or whatever device she uses to talk to him. And Teenie says the reason why she hates working out with Rob is because he makes her do really strenuous workouts. Like, they work out really hard. And she feels like he extends the workout far past what it should be. And I'm like, well, if once we get to that point, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna unplug the Wi-Fi. I'm gonna say that something happened. Maybe there's a storm. I'm gonna pretend to go to the bathroom, pretend I'm going to get some water. I'm gonna unplug the Wi-Fi. If I don't, because you're gonna be mad and I'm scared that you might threaten me or do something to my to my kids or hurt me or harm me in any way, I'm gonna leave the Wi-Fi up so that you can still monitor me, but you're just gonna be mad at what you monitor. I.e., I might be on the couch eating a zebra cake or a ho-ho, right? Watching some reality TV, taking a nap. You're gonna have to watch that during your workout if I feel like you are going too hard on it. But she says that she cannot stand working out with Rob because of this, but yet they still do it and they still want us to watch it. So basically they're having a conversation and Rob is saying that he really wants Teenie and his mom to talk. Now, if you don't remember the last video that I did, I talked about, why isn't Rob's family getting involved? Teenie's a single mom. She has 2 kids. She constantly goes and puts money on Rob's books. She makes sure that Rob can monitor her 24/7, okay? She makes sure that her kids have basically close to no childhood, as they have to spend every free weekend that they have at the prison, visiting uncle, daddy, inmate, pen pal friend. And so I wanted to know, where was Rob's family? How come Rob's family isn't, stepping in? And lo and behold, episode 2, Rob is like, I want you and my mama to talk. Apparently, Teenie and Rob's mom had an issue with each other because Rob had asked Teenie to send Rob's mom $500. And so Rob's mom got the money. Everything was cool. Well, Rob changed his mind. They never specify what made him change his mind or why he changed his mind. But Rob changed his mind and wanted that money back. So he told Teenie to go ahead and get that up off the mama. Now, I'm with the mama on this one. I think the mom was a little bit petty during the episode, but I'm with the mama on this one. How come y'all gave me $500 and then take it back? I need it. No givesies, backsies, hell. And so I guess Rob never told the mom the reason why he wanted the money back, or never really even told her that he wanted the money back. Teenie was the one that had to get the money, and then she took the flack for, Indian giving, stealing the money back, taking the money back. It's not stealing because it's her. It's his, but once it's been given, baby, it's been got. And I don't have it for you. Now, the mom is better than me because you wouldn't have gotten it back. You wouldn't have gotten the money back. I already got it. I already spent it. I don't care if you sent it to me 15 minutes ago. It's already been spent. It's spent. What can I do? But I guess Rob's mom felt the need to give the money back. And, she was really mad. She expressed that, Teenie didn't do anything, didn't reach out, didn't try to console her for losing this $500, which I don't know about y'all, but $500, being given $500 and then it being snatched away from me would upset me a little. Just a tad. I don't know if it's worth 3 years of strife, but I do think I would be in my feelings just a tad, okay? So the episode moves on to Joey and Michael, and this week it was kind of hard to watch them because we found out some pretty interesting things about Joey. Now, it starts off where Joey's at the gym because, everybody's working out, trying to get in shape. We love to see it. Let's better ourselves, right? Take a walk, touch grass, drink water, eat wheat goat, or not goat, go vegan, eat wheat grass that a goat might have eaten. I'm not sure how it goes, but really get yourself in shape, people, okay? It's 2024. Let's start stretching and shit, taking collagen, lots of vitamins, lots of pills. But he's at the gym because he says that he doesn't want to be too flabby. When Michael gets out, he wants to be nice and tight and ripe, and he wants that ass to sit up. And I completely understand. So then he gets home and he's doing doing something on his phone. It looks like he's sending an email or something of the sort. He sends it, whatever, calls Michael and says, hey, I sent the picture, so we should be good. If you don't remember, last week, Joey had to send a picture in of him and Michael. The prison is really strict on who gets to visit because people be smuggling in drugs and I guess trying to tap that in the back when the cameras are off, or, you know, just doing a lot of things that shouldn't be done inside of a prison, right? You don't want to do any criminal acts. And so because of that, they have very, very strict rules, okay? You can't be in here with people that you don't know or just met or maybe met through jail, okay? We have to know that you have a bond with this person, and if you guys are close, then you must have a photo. I do think that that's a silly rule for a prison to have. Like, let me see a picture of y'all 3 years ago, because this could have been my drug dealer. Like, this could have been my OG. This could have been my plug. He could have been the reason why I got stolen TVs and crack in the back of my Buick. And just because we have a photo at my third baby mama's baby shower doesn't mean that he isn't a bad influence or that he isn't going to do anything. But I guess too, it's more of an identification thing as well, really. Like, we have a picture of you. You're submitting things to us. This is a prison. So we hope that you do the right thing and don't break the law. I don't know what prison sentence you'd get for turning in a fake photo, other than the fact that, like, I cut you off. I cut you off for a couple weeks. You can't talk to him no more. At least a month or two for you to really feel what you did, right? Like, I would cut you off, period, point blank. But that's just me.
I didn't sleep very well last night. I was working on these photos, but I'm scared of sending it to the sergeant because I'm scared it's going to get him in trouble. To be able to visit Michael, the prison, they want us to prove that we have known each other before he got locked up. I had to Photoshop a picture. I'm worried that they might cut off contact if they find out.
So once Joey tells Michael that he sent the picture, Michael's like, no, why did you send it? And I'm with Michael. I'm like, send it to me first so I can verify this, because I am the criminal. Like, I do have the best eye for this type of stuff. But, you know, he didn't want to. He sent it in, and Michael was like, it looks really bad. And y'all, look at this photo. Look at this photo. His head is morphed. He looks like he didn't develop all the way, maybe as an embryo. It's giving very much wiggly man in front of the car wash. I don't like it at all. And I'm like, you couldn't send it to a friend, a sister, well, we know why he wouldn't send anything to his sister, but we'll get into that later. You couldn't send it to anybody to verify whether or not, you know, this was a good picture, and it wasn't. It was terrible. So I really do hope they get caught. I'm sorry. I hate to be that guy. Hate to be the, you know, bearer of bad news or the reason the party dies, but you didn't even try. If you're going to go ahead and be with criminals and you want to do what criminals do and break the law and break the rules, you want to be some type of Billy Badass Joey, then do it the right way, okay? Photoshop it right. Send it to a graphic designer. Spend a little money on your crime. Don't be lazy. Don't be cheap. If you want to be a criminal, look at me. I sound like a mob boss. If you want to roll with us, you know, you're not going to be lazy. You're not going to be cheap. You're going to be focused. I don't know. I just feel like some of the things that Michael was saying really got to me, you know, during his phone call with Joey. He was saying things like, I want to marry you. You know, they were talking about body count, right? And so Joey was like, well, what is your body count? And Michael's like, I'm telling you, I had a past on me. He's like, while I've been in jail, and now we know that Michael has spent not 4 years, but he has been charged 4 times. So he spent 4 stints in jail for drugs and alcohol and various, whatever, copious items that you might, you know, get high with. Now that we know that, he tells us that he slept with about 6 or 7 people during his time in prison. I heard that prison relationships were really serious. You know, that once you locked in, you locked in. That's my booty until one of us gets out or one of us dies. Like, I thought that was the rule. Apparently it's not. And so, you know, you can go and venture off and no one gets mad and no one gets jealous, right? He also says that during his time on the outside, he has about 100 or so bodies on him, meaning he slept with about 100 or more people. And his response to that was like, yeah, you know, I'm 40. So of course I've slept with over 100 people. And I'm like, babe, I don't know if I can have that many juices just rolling all up and on and onto me and out of me and through me and different things on my bed set and on different things in the house. I think that type of shit would really go ahead and piss me off. I don't know where you've been. You need to get checked. Can we do a sniff test first? I don't like surprises. There's just a lot that goes through my mind when I hear people talk about sleeping with a lot of people. And I don't want this to come off as slut shaming. I'm not slut shaming. If you want to go out and get freaky and spread your cheeks to a hoe whole bunch of people, that's your prerogative. Do what you got to do, babe. Do whatever makes you happy, you whole. No pun intended on the whole. But I just think that that's a lot. 100 is just, 50, we might have had fun in college. 55, I might have been getting it after, my first wife died. 63, maybe we're in the senior citizen home, just really getting it in. But 100 before 50, before 60, 100 at 40 just seems like a lot. I don't know. I'm concerned when I listen to Michael talk to Joey, because here they are, 40-year-old men in relationships, and Michael says things like, I don't want to run away from you. I don't want to leave you. I don't want to abandon you. I don't want to hurt you. Like, he's afraid that he might do these things. And like, to a regular, normal human being that isn't taking anybody for anything or isn't, manipulating or lying to anybody, it seems like all you have to do is just not do those things. Like, if I have a fear of slapping the shit out of you, I really wouldn't carry that fear, I guess, because I just wouldn't slap the shit out of you. Now, I know I've been into some situations where it's like, I'm really trying not to take it there, but you gonna make me take it there.
Get ready for a smackdown.
But that's as far as it's ever gotten. I've never been like, I'm scared that I'm gonna rob you. I hope that I don't break your heart into a million pieces. I don't know. It seems like he knows what he's going to do or what he's going to have a desire to do once he gets out, and he's not being fair and transparent, and he's not telling that to Joey. And I think Joey has the right to know if if you got these fears. And he's telling them, rightfully so, but it's like, damn, maybe you should just leave him alone. Maybe you should just give him space if you're not healed or whole enough to not tear somebody completely down or run away from them. When he said, I don't want to run from you, it made me feel like I'm going to run from you if you make me accountable or you hold me accountable for certain things that I don't really feel are big deals. He always says different things like, Joey doing this photoshopped photo aren't a big deal. If he breaks the rules, it's not a big deal. If he breaks the law, what's the big deal? It's just a mistake. And it's like, no, a mistake is when you do something the first time, but if you keep on going and you didn't learn from your mistake, you didn't take that lesson in that L, then yeah, you're making a conscious choice to make a negative decision, a bad decision, right? Like, no, it isn't a mistake at that point. You know what the fuck you're doing and you're choosing to do so. And I really feel like Joey wants to be on the up and up. I think that he's had a hard time in his life dealing with his demons and battling some of the emotions that came with being gay, amongst other things. And the fact that it's been revealed to us that everybody in Joey's family, not everybody, but like 90% of Joey's family has had either a drug addiction or an alcohol addiction or both. Like, his whole family struggles with alcoholism. And it's like, wow, I don't know if it's battling with who he is or never really having like a solid mentor and just not really developing the skills to make your mental stronger and be able to handle certain things without running to a drug and then needing stronger drugs and then turning to sex and different things that we just kind of use as crutches, right? Like, he's never actually had a chance to do that, or if he has had a chance, he's failed. I don't know a better way to say he's failed this whole time. And so now it's like, I don't know what to do. I want to be with this guy that he keeps saying that Michael has rescued him, but how can a man that hasn't even rescued himself rescue you? I just think he needs to stay back, stay away from Michael, work on his relationship with himself more, work on the relationship that he has maybe with alcohol and drugs, because it seems like whenever he's having a weak moment, he goes into drugs, and we'll talk about that a little later, but it's like, fuck. I'm trying not to curse, y'all. I'm trying to stop cursing. Fuck. I'm really, really rooting for him because I don't think that he's a bad person. And I think that he comes from a really lovely and loving family that just, they went through it. They have been through some things. And it's like, damn, you want the underdog to win, but the underdog can't win if it's hanging out with people that, kind of want to stay low, kind of want to keep you under. I'm just saying. Anywho's, we're going to move on to Shante and True. And they were just introduced to us. Now, we don't know much about them yet because, again, they had a very small role in this episode, and I'm starting to feel like maybe they don't have a strong storyline. So that's the reason why they cut it down. But basically, the scene opens up with Shante cooking. She's cooking up a storm. She says she loves being in the kitchen. She loves creating meals, right? And she's on the phone with True, who says, once I get out, I can't wait because I'm thinking about sex. And it's like, really?
You're thinking about sex. No job, no resume, no getting out and getting a car and getting a sandwich.
How you feel about being home in literally 1 month?
I'm excited about seeing you in person.
You're excited about sex. Okay.
7 days straight. No break, no reset, no time out. 7 days.
But you're thinking about sex. Okay, I understand that. You've been in jail for a long time. Clearly you're horny. You got some sexual frustration and you want to take it out on moi. Lovely, but let's also talk about some dreams and goals. But maybe I'm just judging them too soon in the scene. Like I said, they didn't really have like a long portion of this episode. One thing that got me about Shante is the fact that, like, I don't know. She says things like, I don't know if God or the devil is the reason why True is in my life. And if it's like, if you don't know whether or not somebody's been sent by our lovely Savior and Lord Jesus Christ, or Leviticus, the demon from the underbelly of the hells, you know, then there's an issue, right? Like, I need to know, I don't want to feel like a demon sent you here. It's not funny, but I don't want to feel like a demon sent you here. Like, you know, I did something bad, or maybe somebody put a voodoo hex on me, or I don't know. I just don't want to feel like there's a bad reason as to why you were placed into my life. And I'm going to have to determine that whilst we get to know each other and I incorporate you with people I love and put you in my family and get you to meet my friends. And before we do all that and I really make you a staple piece in my life where everybody could say that they've spent time with you, I need to know whether or not you're a demon. And Shante doesn't know that. Now, when we see True, Shantae's a very cute girl, and I can understand why she likes True. They would look good together if they were, you know, under different circumstances. But the truth is that I don't know really what True's going through. It seems like his hairstyle choices match a lot of his life choices. Again, don't know why he's locked up. I'm sure they'll tell us that next week. But he started off with like a very big fade up front, and then he finished the hairstyle with dreads, with locks. And I didn't know if that's where he was going. You know, different parts of the world have expressed themselves through different hairstyles, but it seems like he's confused. And I really, from a man like that, I really need to know your plan. What is your plan for your life? What is your plan for our family? Because I don't know if I trust you all the way. True. Basically, she says that she wants to start a restaurant. You know, clearly she works a job and she's using that to fund her side hustle, but she really wants to own a restaurant. And True was like, yeah, man, I'ma help you with that restaurant and shit. The only rule of the restaurant is that you gotta listen to me and you gotta do everything I say as I'm, you know, running the restaurant, but I'ma help you and shit. And I'm like, again, no plan. How are you to help me? Do you have some money coming in that you're gonna invest? Do you know people that can invest? Do you have any like furniture plugs on our chairs and our tables? Are you gonna cook? Are you gonna whip up the recipes and be able to print out these menus? How are we gonna market this business? Like, how are you going to help me scale up? And it was just very much so, once I get there, you gonna listen to me. And it's giving, we do sell spaghetti, but you can get crack in the back if you want it, which, what are you here for? Shante, I don't know. It's looking like the Lord, the heavenly Lord, our Father, did not bless you with True, okay? So one of Shantae's family members are kind of upset because she moved from Kansas to go to Missouri in order to be, you know, closer to True. When he gets out, he can only parole in Missouri, so she has to move there, and she left her family behind. Now, they weren't too keen on that, and they brought it up, you know, and she's kind of like, it's okay, let it go, you know, I had to be with my man, and I'm gonna choose my man, you know, I'm gonna stick beside him. So they continue on with the conversation, and the family's like, you know, True doesn't like black women. He's not attracted to black women. He feels like black women are ratchet. You know, this is Shantae speaking as well. She's like, he feels like black women are ratchet, like we got too much going on, like we're hard to talk to, like we, you know, we aren't successful. And I'm like, this is really rich coming from a half dreaded, half faded, you know, 3/4 tapered criminal that hasn't really done the best to make sure that he's successful, that he ain't got too much going on. I don't know if they have, I know that Shante has kids. I don't know if he has kids, but I'm really interested to see how this story unfolds and how this couple progresses, if you will, into whatever their relationship is about to be, because it seems like Shante has a good head on her shoulders and it seems like she's very responsible, but she's just caught up and caught in love with this, you know, this felon, this finessing felon, this inmate, if you will. So let's move on to Andrew and Candace. Now, if you don't remember, last week Andrew was being told by a financial advisor that he was completely broke and that he needed to get more jobs and that he needed to stop spending money on frivolous items or he wasn't going to be able to eat anymore. But that didn't stop him from packing up Candace's brand new Louis Vuitton bag that he broke, by the way. He said that he tried to zip all of the other lavish gifts that he had given her into the bag, but the little clasp, right, the tab broke off of it. So he calls her and he lets her know this. And she's like, be more gentle. But my thing is, I hope that the tab, because, I'm gonna brag a little, but I got a couple Louis V's, okay? And I don't know, that leather's very strong. Those clasps are very strong. It looked like it had a little tag on it, and it didn't look like a tag that like a Louis Vuitton, would have given you right as you left the store. So it looked like an older, seasoned, really old Louis Vuitton bag. And I actually commend Andrew for this. I'm very excited. Like, if this is the truth, then I'm very excited that he's making the right decisions by buying her. If you're going to buy her designer, because don't get me wrong, I do not want him to spend any more money on designer. I do not want him to spend any of his money, right, on any more of his money on Candace. And again, he has a son, and not on his son, instead of his son. That's not what I want. But if he's going to do it anyway, please let it thrift it, okay? Thrift it, buy it secondhand, third hand, fourth hand. Make sure that you're getting a really good deal on it. So I'm happy, and I think she should still be happy with a designer bag. She's just getting out of prison. So after Andrew shows us the chains and the Chanel glasses and all the lavish gifts that he stuffed into the Louis bag that he ripped, he is on his way to Arizona from New Jersey to see his baby. She is getting out soon, and he is ready to pick his girl up. So in this episode, we find out that Candace was married twice, and that's just, okay, so this is gonna be the 3 for 3 for the both of y'all. And again, this is why I'm heavily against people being like, well, if you've been dating somebody for a year or 2 years, then they should know. They should know if they want to marry you. Yes, you can know if you want somebody in your future, but as far as do I really want to make the commitment to you for that long? It's given, I don't know. I need to know you in all your seasons, especially if you're just getting out of jail. I gotta see what you're gonna do in the next, let's say 5 years. Then the next 5 or 6 years, let's see how this goes. I'm sorry, I'm not budging on that. I don't think that anybody should just, especially not long distance, especially not over the phone. You don't know how these people live. You don't know what these people really think and their morals or their behaviors or their day-to-day routines. I don't think anybody should get married right off the gate, and that's exactly what Andrew's trying to do, right? Especially if it's long distance. But even if it's 1 year, 2 year, 3 months, 6 months, that's not enough time to see somebody in all of their seasons and all of their glory and bullshit is what I like to call it. Because on one end, we wear a mask, and so some of us are very transparent and open, but a lot of us wear masks. So it takes a long time to like chip away through certain lies and a little bit of like manipulations and innuendos and different things. You got to find out what joke really wasn't a joke and what, criminal background somebody has, because you're not going to look at their background. Oftentimes we don't do background checks or record checks or credit checks. I think before we get married, I need to know, and not just what you tell me. I need to know, what's your credit like? What things have you done in your past? Can anything from your past come and get you and bite you? We need to prepare for the future by making sure that we've taken care of our skeletons in our past. And I just think, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? Do you believe that, right out the gate, people should get married 6 months, a year? Long distance relationships. What are your stances on people who get married after being long distance with each other? We've been together for 8 years, but it's all been on the phone. It's all been through FaceTime. What do you feel about that? Let me know in the comments below. I don't know. They showed a couple pictures of Candace, and it just looks like she finesses. You ever just seen somebody that looks like they finesse, and it's like, I don't know. Andrew, she says that she doesn't want to get irritated with him and she doesn't want to hurt him. It's given really what Michael said. I don't want to hurt you. I hope I don't break his heart. I hope I don't tear him up into a million pieces. And it's like, well, then don't. Don't do this. Stop accepting his gifts. If you think that you're, bound to hurt him or you're going to tear him up, stop accepting his gifts. Don't move in with him. Don't take his car. Let him be there for his kid. Candace also tells Andrew that she's not going to move unless she has written documentation of getting custody of her child. I guess she lost custody of her kid. The kid is with the dad. And so now she doesn't want to go anywhere until she has her kids back. And so Andrew's like, well, I don't know why she's saying all this. On her pen pal prison profile, it says that she's willing to relocate. So I don't understand why she wants to stay and fight for her kid. She's willing to relocate. And it's like, babe, that was a dating application, not a job application. She doesn't have to be legally binded by what she says on this profile. We want people to be honest and we want people to be able to tell us who they truly are online, but that's the scary part of online. That's what makes online so, I wouldn't say enticing, more than I'd say concerning and scary, right? You don't know who you're talking to. You don't know who is behind this profile. All you know is what they say. So Andrew's outside of the prison. He's on the phone with her and he's like, can you feel me, baby? I'm coming. And she's like, I can feel you, baby. I'm so excited. And I know what she's thinking. I'm so excited to see what you tore up on my new Louis Vuitton bag and on my Chanel glasses. And did you get my, Tory Burch slides and my Gucci flip-flops and whatever else that he bought her? I know that she is super excited to see all of her lavish gifts and her new home and car. I mean, I really hope Candace understands that even though she may not be sexually attracted to Andrew, and the only reason I say that is because I've never seen her or heard her say that she was, and that he was something sexy and she can't wait to, do whatever to him when she gets out. It's mostly been, I can't wait to see my life that you've created for me. I'm glad that you're really pure and green and naive, and I hope I don't break you down too much. That's what Candace has said so far, just in a nutshell. So Andrew's outside, he flicks off the prison, and he's like,
you, J Conservation Camp. I never want to see you again.
F you, blank, blank, correctional camp. And I'm like, what they do? All of the reasons why Candace is in prison right now is because of things that she's done, behaviors that she's displayed, choices that she's made. But that's neither here nor there. So then we skyrocket back to Joey, and basically he's nervous because his family wants to do a FaceTime call with Michael. It goes over very smooth. I think that his family is super polite. My family would not have been that polite if I was supposedly trying to introduce an inmate to them for the very first time. They wouldn't have been so polite. So basically, the call goes well. Michael says that he can't wait to see and meet, and he looks forward to getting to know mom and dad. So he's already, adopted himself into that family. And they kind of go on, they get off the phone and they go on to have dinner. Well, Joey's sister drops a bomb on the whole family. Joey's sister is like, I'm glad that you found somebody that you can really get along with and you really love, and I want you to be happy. No one's against you on this. However, Michael seems like a very bad influence. You did disclose to me that you used with him 5 months ago. And everybody's like, what? You're supposed to be in recovery. You're a recovering addict. You've been in remission. Is that the right word, y'all? Let me know in the comments. Is it remission? But you've been off of drugs for 12 years. We're very proud of you. You got all the buttons that they give you and all the courses that you have to take. Like, why would you ruin this 5 months ago? Why? And so Joey's like, I was with Michael and I wanted to try it out again, and I wanted to feel the feeling again. I was in a very dark, depressive state, and I don't know why I made that decision. And so one of his family members, I believe it was like his sister-in-law, might have been like his sister-in-law was like, was it to be with Michael? It might have been his grandmother, but one of his family members is like, was it to be with Michael? And he was like, no, you don't know what you're thinking. You don't know how your mental is when you're going through a spout of depression. You want to find a vice and you don't feel good and you feel, really shitty and you just want to feel better. And so that's what I did. We went to the same hotel that I used to use in, and I was with Michael, and Michael basically told me, don't give up. He goes straight into savior mode with Michael, and I didn't like that, right? Instead of him just taking the accountability, yes, it's relapse, right? Like, yes, I relapsed, I relapsed, and even though I've been good and clean for 12 years, I wanted to go back, and not just to alcohol. I mean, he went back to the hard stuff. Like, the dad asked, was it needles or was it juice? Like, what's going on? And he's like, yeah, needles. I did that, and I feel really bad about that. And it's like, no, you don't just go from not doing crack or not doing meth for 12 years and hop and say, like, I'm gonna go back to do some meth today. I'm gonna do some meth today. No. And I just don't feel like Michael is the right influence for him. Again, he isn't strong enough. He gives into peer pressure. He still has low self-esteem, and he still hasn't truly accepted who he is as a gay man to his core, right? So I just don't think that Michael is the right one for Joey at all. And so his dad is really heartbroken by this. His dad is like, this really breaks my fucking heart, dude. You should have let me know. And he was like, well, I was alone. And it's like, here you have this loving family who's all been through alcoholism, who's all been through drug use, right? And who says, like, I can help you. And you're telling them that you feel alone, like they weren't there for you. But Michael was. The drug addict Michael. And then he goes in again to save Michael by saying things like, Michael told me that it wasn't a big deal that I did it. And yeah, like, I made a mistake, but like, it's okay after I felt shame. And it's like, no, I don't think that Joey should have just felt shame. Oh my God, you're terrible. You all, 12 years just thrown out. You're a shitty human being. I don't think that he should have felt an immense amount of shame, but he should have felt something. This was a big deal. And so for Michael being like, oh, it wasn't a big deal. Like, yeah, you relapsed, but it's fine. No, it was a huge deal. You went back immensely in your progress, and now you have to start all the way over. And I don't like that Michael didn't see it as a big deal, and I don't like that this hurt his family. And I know Joey didn't like that his sister ratted him the fuck out, but I think his sister was being a really good big sister here. Hey, brother dealt with alcohol, this person dealt with alcohol, dad says that his mom and his uncles and aunts dealt with alcoholism and drug use. It's a poison that has poisoned our family for too long. And so I need this to stop. And if this man that you're dating is going to make you relapse, I don't want you seeing him. And I think that they're right to feel that way. So then we go on to see Ayana and Jamal. And Ayana, I want to say that I was a little rough on last week because as somebody who is a single mom of a young child, she should be using that time that the child is still young and doesn't really know what's going on to get herself together and really get acclimated with being a mom. What does this mean? What does my routine need to look like to make sure that this child is thriving and this child is surviving and eating and flourishing, right? And being healthy and happy? What do I have to do to ensure that for this human being that I've now brought into the world? And it doesn't seem like she's focused on that. It seems like she's very much so focused on Jamal. So I figured I was a little bit harsh on her last week, but this week she goes and she sees the lady, and I'm really happy that she goes because all of us needs to go and see that lady, that man on the couch, right? And I'm talking about a therapist. So she has to go see a therapist by her lawyer, per her lawyer. Her lawyer wants her to do that because maybe it might look good in front of the judge. She's been hit with a dilemma. She has to spend either 15 days or 90 days in prison because of some of the choices that she's chosen to make, right? And so this is the reason why she needs to go to anger management. So first she's like, listen, I just want to do this to get out of jail. However this helps me get out of going to jail, I'm gonna do it, right? And so as she's talking to the therapist, she really starts to open up and really discloses to the therapist that the reason why she feels like she makes these bad decisions or that she uses anger as a reactionary emotion is because she didn't have a father growing up, and she felt like she's always been looking for that male validation, that love from a male that she hasn't had. And you guys know how I feel about this. I do believe that a happy household, a thriving household is even more important no matter who's in it, as long as somebody can be there for you. So I do think that it does take a village. And even though a father being in the household is something that a child needs, more mentors would be lovely, right? An uncle that owns a business that's really responsible, a cousin who can really keep you on the up and up, maybe get you involved in athletics, maybe a sister that gets you into makeup or doing something fun for a hobby, maybe reading or doing something like that. But like when you don't have anybody, and then you also feel like you are lacking a father figure, a figure in your life, a staple figure that should have been there. Yeah, it does hurt your identity and it does hurt who you're going to become. But we can't keep using these things from our childhood as an excuse. What happened to us, our trauma, is not our fault, but how we react to that, how we move forward, has everything to do with us and our decisions. And that's just what it is. So I think that she had a really good conversation with the therapist. And I do think that with her being able to identify why she feels the way that she does, and her being so open and honest and transparent for that to be her first time talking to the lady on the couch, I think she did really well. And I do think that if she sticks with it and doesn't just look at it as a way to get out of jail for the things that she's done, for the crimes that she's committed, then, she will progress and she will be better, and she will be a better mother for her kid. Or kids, we still don't know. She goes on to say that she just feels burnt out. And that's what happens when you live this really, really fast lifestyle. Like, you're asleep by 1 o'clock in the afternoon because you just worked a full shift at the strip club that morning, but you had to get up and pick your kid up and change your kid and get your kid ready to go to daycare so that you can sleep, so that you can get ready for the night shift. And sometimes you might have to do a little drugs or drink a little bit to get yourself in the mood. And, you got to be in people's faces and do different things and maybe deal with some shady situations and some shadier people, because it is the nightclub and the nightlife scene. So, and the freaks come out at night. So I do understand why she is burnt out and tired. She is trying to maintain a life for her kid. She is trying to maintain a life so that her husband, Jamal, can get out of prison and have something nice to come home to. And she's trying to balance all that with, what does she want? What is she like? What does her future look like? And so I can understand why she's stressed out. So lastly, they show a scene between Teenie and Rob's mom, and baby, they went off. Teenie finally met up with Rob's mom. I guess Rob had got everything scheduled, right? And so they met up at a nice little diner, nice little cafe. Basically, Rob's mom says she didn't have any desire to see Teenie. In fact, if she never sees Teenie again, it'd be too soon. She goes on to say that she's still in her feelings about the whole $500 situation 3 years ago, and she really didn't understand why Teenie didn't do more to really reach out to her and let her know the situation. Hey, this had nothing to do with me. This was all Rob. But to Teenie's defense, she said that when she did try to reach out, Rob's mom was screaming and cursing and yelling and freaking the hell out. Now, it seems like Rob's mom has always struggled financially. She says, and she mentioned that she takes care of her mom, and the fact that Rob's been in jail since he was 18. It can't be easy raising somebody, I say raising even though he was 18, but helping, somebody along with their life from 18 to freaking in their mid 30s in jail, having to put money on books, having to send things, having to go out and visit you. I mean, that stuff gets expensive. Even a 30-minute conversation, it's like $8 a minute. Listen, don't ask me how I know, but like, some of us dated inmates and we know. You want to talk to daddy's going to be a little pricey. Okay, they're gonna ask for some money on those books, some money on his JPay, for real. So I can only imagine how that must have hit her financially. Now, I don't know where she works or anything like that, but she's very honest about the fact that she needed that money and that they shouldn't have taken that money from her. Now, Rob told Teenie to let it go, that his mom would just get over it, that it wasn't a big deal, but it was actually a huge deal to his mom, and it really hurt her, like it really broke her down. And so she wanted more of an apology. Now, Teenie says, I gave you an apology, okay? You didn't get the Mother's Day gift? Why didn't you reach out after I tried to extend this olive branch? And Rob's mom straight up goes, that wasn't good enough for me. Well, hell, I'm with Teenie. I tried. You cussed me out. I'm not the one who wanted to give you the money, and I'm damn sure not the one that wanted to take it away. So I don't know what your issue is, but you need to back it up and you need to deal with it and deal with it internally. This has nothing to do with me. And so, Rob's mom was basically like, I'm still struggling. My son is still in prison. He's given all his money to you. His ex-girlfriend was way more communicative, right? His ex-girlfriend communicated with me. His ex-girlfriend rode for me, wanted to drop off some money and make sure that I was straight. You don't do half as much as what she did for me. I don't give a damn what she did. In my head, as soon as his mom said that, I said, I don't give a damn what his ex did. She ain't here now. Yeah, she didn't do enough. She didn't do enough to keep the family together because she's no longer here. And I'm in Rob's life now. And so if you have a problem with me, then we ain't got to talk, boo-boo. I don't know why people make it such a big deal. I understand that family is important. But if your family disrespects me, then you can go over there during Christmas for half the day. And then when you're done, mingling and tingling, mingling with your family, come on home and ringle jingle the bell of love with us, because we will be separate. You will not be able to come to my house if you're going to disrespect me. You will not be around my children if you're going to disrespect me. Ain't nothing like that going on over here. So you better mind your manners. It seemed like Teenie was really respectful and just a little irritated, but really respectful the whole time. Whereas Rob's mom was like, no, I'm the mother. It's kind of like a Mama D Scrappy situation. I'm a queen in some imaginary palace, okay? And you need to bow down to me. And baby, it don't work like that, no. So I am so interested into seeing what's going on next week. You know, will Joey finally get it together and be strong enough to tell Michael that he doesn't want to commit crimes? Will Teenie stop allowing this man to monitor her and her kids 24/7 and cut off ties with the mama, right? Will Andrew finally realize that Candace might just be there for the money, or will it take her actually telling him that for him to understand that? Will Ayana start to care a little bit more about her kids and a little bit less about Jamal? A little bit more about her freedom and a little bit less about his? I don't know. Let me know in the comments, who's your favorite couple? Who do you think has more of a chance of making it, whatever that is in this scenario? And until next time, I will holla.